Oh, meet my new toy. So, this is an air-fed welding and grinding mask. It's got a little pump. Here, let me just zoom into my back end. So we've got a little filter, electric filter, that sends nice fresh air all the way up to the mask. It's fully enclosed. Wasn't cheap, but it was getting to a point that working on the Range Rover was becoming a little bit tedious, especially with all the dust that was accumulating inside, and you can see the extractor fan that we were using. So I decided to splash out and get one of these. So we'll soon find out how it goes. I mean, I've just worn it, just walking around a little bit, and I'm pretty impressed with it at the moment. But time will tell. But yeah, I would strongly recommend anybody that does any grinding or welding really does consider getting one of these. I mean, it's long overdue that I get one. And I was really noticing after working in all the dust in the back of the Range Rover that I was getting a really bad cough, and that's not good for you breathing any of that stuff in, cutting, grinding or welding gases. So let's get on and let's get the rest of this Range Rover finished. Okay, so just made a little bit more progress. As you saw on the time lapse, I started cleaning it up, but I decided to stop time lapsing because I knocked the camera over. So that's all you got to see of that. But we've done a lot of cleaning, a lot of cutting, and obviously the big one here, as you can see, we've done a bit of painting. So what we've done, I'll start you off here, is we've cut out this side that needed cutting out. So all of the rot, that's completely cut out. As you can see around here, all the way back to bare metal around there. So we probably cut, you know, probably that much out. So however much that is, quite a lot actually. It's probably the depth that you would have on this wheel arch here. So we've cut that out there. The reason was it was just completely rotten, it had patches over patches. Once we've done that, we've then bare metaled the wheel arch there. Pretty happy with how that's come out. You can see just over there, there's a section I had to cut out. And over here, I had to cut that section out there, but that's not too hard to deal with. So I bare metaled all the top of the chassis, all of the bits that you wouldn't be able to get to with the floor on, and the cross member. That's been completely bare metaled, and I've just put some red oxide down on there, which will then just be a coat of stone chip. I'm going to do the whole back end of the chassis eventually, but I just want to do the bits that I won't be able to reach when the floor goes back on, especially those the spring tops there. Once we put those side panels on here, you won't be able to reach those properly. So I've just taken that opportunity now just to clean up and paint that, and cleaned up the old Boge thingy-majig, the self-leveling strut, that's been cleaned up as well. But yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with how it's coming out. Obviously these arches have been replaced at some point. They've not been done perfectly, but the welds are strong. There's no rust in there, so that'll just get sealed and painted over. Obviously cleaned up this side as well. So what we've got to do is just wait for this red oxide primer to dry. Then we can get the panels in, and we'll be cutting and joining this panel here, and then joining the lip of the arch to it, and then we'll make this bit here to go down. The fuel filler, I had to remove that as well, which is just here. Just put that down over here, 2 seconds, put that in some light. There we go. You can see that didn't come out the best. It's pretty knackered, to be fair. The bottom half of it's completely gone. I'm not sure if I'm going to make one or just buy one. I might just buy one, to be fair. They're about £115. I need to buy some other bits and pieces for the back end as well. But yeah, so progress is going along quite well at the moment. So we'll come back in a minute when this is dry, which for you guys will probably be 1 second, but it'll be tomorrow for me. And once that's dried, we'll start putting those rear floor panels in. Just tack welding. That's all I'm going to do, is tack weld everything at the moment. And once I'm happy with how everything lines up, then we'll go for it and just do the seam welding. I will say that that helmet that I've been using, wherever it's gone, absolutely fantastic. I used to, you know, do a day of grinding and I'll come home and I'll just be coughing and spluttering, but it's this Weldtech. Can't remember, I think it was about 350 quid. But yeah, absolutely over the moon with that thing. Absolutely brilliant. But yeah, I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. Okay, so it's the next day. Everything's pretty much dry. As you can see, it's come out quite well. The intention obviously wasn't to paint every single part of the chassis. It was literally just to get a nice protective coat on it. Some of it was a bit flaky and some was quite scabby. So what I think I'll do now is I'm just going to stick it on a time lapse. We'll start cleaning up, cutting panels, lining everything up, and then we'll come back before we do any tack welds. Right, so things progressed again a little bit quicker than I thought they would. I was going to stop and have a chat whilst I tack welded everything in, but I'll be honest with you, I just got into a swing and just thought I'd crack on. So as you can see, we've repaired the bottom of this panel here, and we've obviously repaired the bottom of the tubs as well, and we've now seam sealed it all in. There is still stuff to do. I've got the inspection panel on there. That was basically just to help me set the correct height. Just to make sure that everything lined up, and I'm quite happy that all the screw holes lined up. They're brilliant. I got a pair of them for 20 odd quid off eBay. Fuel filler neck, still need to decide what we're doing with that. Walk round to here. As you can see, that side's all been repaired and seam sealed. And up in the wheel arch, again, I ran out halfway through, so I just did the important bit of getting it just up in the welding seam. But I still need to remove some of this under seal that was flaking away. Interesting colour there. It's like a brown, it's like russet brown, really strange colour. Maybe it was a second-hand wheel tub that went in, I don't know. I might ask Barry about that. But yeah, there we go. So as you can see, we're making some good progress. So the fuel filler neck panel, it wasn't, as you remember, in the best of condition. So we've got to make a decision whether we buy a new one for £115 from Famous 4 or we make a new one. I don't think there's any point in trying to repair that in any way. It looks like it's pressed out of one single piece of steel, actually. I can't see any welding lines or seams around it, so I'm not sure. I might just for ease go with a new one, and it'll look quite nice, because obviously I've put quite a bit of effort into making it look nice on this side. Annoyingly, I've run out of welding gas now, so hopefully when I come back next, that'll be tomorrow, and I've managed to find somewhere that's got some welding gas in stock, and then we can do this side, which, touch wood, should be the easier of the two sides to do. I probably shouldn't have said that, really. And obviously then we need to just finish that off, but we need to put the other one in first, and then we can check that the tailgate lines up and slots on properly, and then go from there. And then all we've really got to do on this side is prime it and paint it, and then put the floor back in, run a fuel pipe. Oh, we've got to paint the top of the chassis as well. Yeah, it's not, I mean, it's going along. I really want to have this done by the end of March, the whole car. So it's still February at the moment, so fingers crossed we actually get there. But yeah, join me tomorrow. Hopefully we've got some welding gas. We're going to start welding the other side. Okie dokie, it's the next day. I've done some work off camera. So that side's been repaired now, the bottom of the inspection panel cover. And then I just did the other side. It didn't take me long, probably a few hours. It's a little bit more challenging than this side, but I think we'll agree that's come out quite well. I had to go quite far up with the seam sealer around this tub, because I had to cut a lot more of it out than I did on the other side. But it's all repaired, as you can see. Ooh, sorry, I'm trying to focus. It's pretty happy with how that's come out. It looks pretty good. I still have to take out these screws and put pop rivets in there at some point. I need to finish repairing the bottom of this inspection panel here, which is fairly straightforward to do. It won't take long. And then all we've got to do is finish that off at some point. And we're going to cut this side out, mirror the other one to this one, tack weld it in, check the tailgate latch is okay, seam weld it up, paint the back end, put the floor in, do the brake pipes, do the axle, yada yada yada, and that should be us done pretty much. I'm going to take some diesel out of this because it's absolutely freezing today, so I'm going to empty this tank. Probably not a bad idea. It's been in there for probably about 7 years, and I want to get the diesel heater going, so I'm going to empty that out, and then I'll probably time lapse the making of this panel here, and that'll see us through to the end of this episode. There you go. That's what we're doing. So we've got a jump pack, an inline pump, and a bit of pipe. We're just filling up a couple of these. Just get a bit of fuel. I don't think the colour of that, you tell me differently, doesn't look the greatest, to be fair. So probably not best running a the Range Rover on that, but it will go really nicely in the diesel heater. Something's come up today, so that's going to be the end of this video. And as you can see, we made that panel there to go in, and we just started getting to the point where we can cut this one out, but that'll be in the next video, and then we'll be painting it. So thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll try and put a video out next week, and hopefully we'll finish the back end.